and negative intentions. But I get encouraged by the word of God that says, all things work together for good to them that love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. That means God and Satan can work together for your own good because you love God. I'm talking about the Biafran issue. First of all, let's look at an angle which I'm very sorry our people are making mistake there. And it is part of that feeling of nostalgia I'm having, where partly I'm not happy, the other side I'm happy. Look at Very Dark Man. He came out the other day and it began to tell us that the vehicles he imported have landed in Nigeria. He showed everybody those vehicles, and he sold those vehicles for, I think, 28 million naira. Now, B-Lord or P-Lord or whatever they call him is an Igbo man, imports those same vehicles and was selling them for 42 million. So there was a difference of 14 million. Look, let's leave our brother here. Let's discuss issues objectively. Because when we get into Biafra, we're not going to go into this mentality of exploiting people because we have opportunities that they don't have. If Biafra is going to be great, there must be a collective responsibility to give in the best for our nation. And that means if you are selling products, I believe and I know we are going to have a kind of price control mechanism that will make sure that goods are sold within a range, not difference of about 5 units. Okay? So, there was a time this very black man made a comment about phones he was bringing, and a lot of people criticized him that he was looking into another person's business, trying to spoil their business. No. Let's go beyond the love for money, that after all, it is my connection. I've made it, you go and look for your own. If you live like that, it is a dog-eat-dog society. You are laying a wrong foundation of what will happen in the future. That's why price control does not work in Nigeria. And if you want to Nigerianize Biafra, then what's the need us fighting all this while? Because part of the reasons why we don't want to be in Nigeria is that things are not working. They're not sincere, they're not honest, they're not straightforward. They don't contribute to society. John F. Kennedy says, don't ask what America can do for you, but what you can do for your nation, America. So we shouldn't be doing the other way around. Don't ask what Biafra can do for you. No, what you can do for Biafra, but what Biafra can do for you. So I sit down to listen. Look, one thing with me is that when you are talking, after talking, I sit down to analyze what you are saying. And I want to, dispassionately, with no commitment or contrast to you, I just want to listen to you objectively and know where you're coming from. If Very Dark Man could provide cars for 28 million, which P-Lord has given for 42, that is a sign that P-Lord, even though he had the vision to make money, is willing and will be willing to exploit Igbo when the time comes. And even if you say when we get to Biafra, things will change, he will not change. A lot of young people will take advantage to follow him. And even if he does, he wants to be appreciated as a king, as a lord. I live in the white man's land. There is a way they think. They handle things in a way that will benefit future generations. It's not about them. That's why a white man who is a very rich man will enter into McDonald's and buy food. If the most expensive one there is $16, he goes for that of $16. They don't increase. If you increase the price beyond 16, he protests that you're cheating him. So they put it for 16, for 10, for 12, for 8, for 6, for 4, for 2. So it will be entirely up to you, the combination you want, if you have the money. So those price control mechanisms is that if you go to Burger King, the same quantity which McDonald's give, the difference might be 5 cents, 20 cents. Those are insignificant differences. Unlike Nigeria, where you will go here, it is a vehicle maybe for 10 million. You go another place, they sell it to you for 7 million because there's no price control mechanism. Here, if a vehicle had driven on the road for up to about 100,000 miles plus, you understand, even though they give it good maintenance, if the vehicle does not fall within the range of Toyota or Honda, it is likely the price of that vehicle will go down, regardless of the fact that it was bought in 2018, but has run for 100 and something thousand miles. The price will go down because it is understood within the American system that that vehicle does not have second-hand value. But Toyota is a different thing. So their price mechanisms, captures all these things while bringing up price. So even if you go to Detroit, or you go to Michigan, or you go to Boston, Massachusetts, or you even go to West Virginia here, or Delaware, or Maryland, the price of a vehicle range between 3,000, 3,500. And if you, of that distance, like maybe 150,000 miles, and if you want to go and price, the person who is buying from you, even though if you maintain a vehicle, will tell you that it's high mileage, and they know that within that range, vehicles don't go beyond this price. If you keep it, nobody will buy it. There are others who work within that price range. So we have to develop a mechanism where we can check people from excesses. So if you are looking at him being against B-Lord as an Igbo man, then you have allowed sentiments to play on your sense of judgment. For how can he go overseas, buy a vehicle, come to Nigeria to sell to people, whether Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, or Igbo, and the price of the vehicle is 42 million, okay? And then that same vehicle, another person goes, brings it, and puts it at 28 million. It is a whopping 14 million naira difference. So when you see those people who bought from VDM turn around now and say, we want to dash you 2 million naira, thanking you, it is goodwill that this man is a good businessman who understands the plight of people. That was why, what's his name, Ibeto Cement was trying to crash the price of cement in Nigeria. Obasanjo refused and frustrated that man's business. They carried everything and gave it to Dangote, who maintained monopoly, but the price of cement has skyrocketed to unimaginable proportions. People are unable to buy cement and build houses. You see? But Ibeto was going to crash it. Not basically that he's doing it for the Igbos. It was for the whole of Nigeria. Ibeto was going to crash the price of cement to be at 1,000 naira a bag. When I did cement business in this life many years ago, I sold cement for 5 naira a bag. When I used to go to Nkalago to get cement in bag, or Ashakasem, or whatever, or Benosem, when I used to apply for 200 bucks, 200 bucks, 200 bucks a bag, I used to sell the cement for 5 naira. Sometimes in Nkalago, myself for 5 naira, while Benue cement to sell for maybe 350 or 4 naira. So the difference was very minimal, okay? So that you choose which one you will take. But now, Dangote monopolizes cement, and the price has gone very, very high. Now, the frustrated Ibeto, who was trying to do better. Forget the fact that Very Dark Man is not an Igbo man. If he were an Igbo man, and without talking, he brings that kind of vehicle and crashes the price, advertising without calling P-Lord, it will still be the same thing. You won't go out now and begin to say, don't about one name. No. If your intention is just to make profit, you will send people to the cleaners. You will drink their blood. And this monies only show the kind of person you are. We're supposed to build a society where there will be job opportunities and cars will be there so that you can buy, you can get a job. We can raise up something that will be better for people. Yeah, Chibago said, B-Lord is an employer of labor. It doesn't matter. A big wholesaler, it doesn't matter. A retailer with about 150 employees, you can still be an employer of labor and you are an exploiter. That's what McDonald's do today. They employ labor. What do they pay them per hour? How much? Maybe $15. In fact, McDonald's is even doing better. a lot of African stores or other foreign companies that come here, they employ people under the table and pay them less, although those guys don't pay taxes. You see? So, if you exploit people, Britain gives Nigeria grants, financial grants, every year. Yet, Britain exploits Nigeria. So, when you exploit people and then employ people, it doesn't make sense. There must be fairness in distribution of wealth, where equity is a principal factor that shall determine how fair the fairness is. So, I've looked at Very Dark Man very well, checked it up and down. I've not found, look, listen, his personal life is different. That's not what I'm saying. Whether he's a born-again Christian or not, that's what I'm saying. His, moral life, it's not what I'm saying. I'm not there. I'm talking of in respect to wealth acquisition and distribution. Unless maybe along the line in future he changes, nobody knows. But so far for now, he has been able to crash that price. Because right now, a lot of people would like to import cars courtesy of him. Okay? Courtesy of him. And if you talk that P-Lord is an employer and labor, a big wholesaler, Very Dark Man spends money on people. There are those, a lady just came out and said he gave her 500,000. He spreads his dragnet, his net beyond the shores of Nigeria to Ghana. Wherever he knows he can be of help, he does it. So I want us to look beyond this small picture. Let's look at the big picture, because if you see NNAMDI Kanu, look at his mindset. That is the big picture. Even though he's fighting for the liberation of Biafrans, NNAMDI Kanu has African countries and the oppressed in mind. And he's saying, if we have the opportunity, we are going to open your eyes, Africans. How? We are going to give you fuel free of charge, but you buy our products. And we'll be willing to build your industries on agreement so that you can be at least self-sufficient to a particular extent without necessarily depending on us or on the white man. That's the mindset of somebody that looks into the future. Martin Luther King died fighting for civil rights, okay? But I wasn't there. I am enjoying the price of what he paid. I'm not an African American. I'm not an American. I'm just a green card holder, okay? Martin Luther King Jr. fought for this. He looked at it in the future. That's the mindset NNAMDI Kanu has. I want us to grow beyond things that are parochial, ephemeral, transient. Look at things that has legacy, lasting legacy in the future. So it pains me that Very Dark Man raised up an issue against P-Lord, being an Igbo man, and we are fighting to exit the evil Nigeria. Second one, Very Dark Man also came out. He personally challenged Cubana High Priest. When Cubana High Priest made a comment some time ago against certain categories of people that make Obi Cubana to make an adjustment in his speeches and behavior. And Cubana High Priest was seen as somebody that was speaking for his people. But along the line, he changed. That same Cubana High Priest changed, which Very Dark Man presented. Obi Cubana, the same thing, has liaised with Opus Odima and Tinubu to fight against the NNAMDI Kanu in the East. Igbo, if you say, let's talk to our Igbo brothers, Cubana High Priest and Obi Cubana, they employ a lot of people. They have money. But these are fetchers of water, hewers of wood and fetchers of water to the Hausa Fulanis, to the Yorubas. Who is speaking against them? It's the same Very Dark Man that gave Obi Cubana High Priest a time frame to prove himself, otherwise he would tell him that he's a hypocrite. Now listen, he's very friendly with them. He can afford to abandon whatever they are doing. He can afford to abandon whatever they're doing, do business with them, make his money, grow big. As Very Dark Man, he has gotten popularity. But no, he put his social connection at risk when he rose up to speak against Cubana High Priest and Obi Cubana. Do you understand? So he is somebody who is looking at something beyond. Even if he doesn't identify with us in the Biafran struggle, where I will be against him is if he speaks against the Biafran struggle. But if he doesn't speak against the Biafran struggle and he does not want to identify with us, no problem. No problem. He can stay on his own. But you can see that he's even speaking in respect to Onyendu. And he told Cubana High Priest that the comment you made then for NNAMDI Kanu has shown that you're a hypocrite, that there's something different in your mind, you're a hypocrite. He's telling him, he's not NNAMDI Kanu's brother. Very dark man, it's not an Igbo man. Does not even have, I think, some Agenebode or something like that. But he is making his comments, criticizing Akwandio Undibo, Upatrego, who would have stood for Onyendu when Cubana High Priest was challenging somebody and said, if we're in his position, he would draw all the governors together, he would do this, blah, 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 blah. Now the time has come. What is he doing? Cubana High Priest has sold himself to be against Ndibo. And let me clarify something. For those of you who keep talking that we are going to speak for NNAMDI Kanu so that let him be free. Listen to me. If you do it, you do for yourself. If you do bad, you do for yourself. If we speak today, NNAMDI Kanu comes out, we didn't do him any favor. He was the one that went there on his own for our people, and he did us the favor. I want you to see that way. For when Jesus was on his way, on the cross, on his way, going to Calvary, the women gathered and were weeping. He looked at them and said, don't weep for me, weep for your children, of what's going to happen to them in future. And NNAMDI Kanu has told us that we should weep for our children because the Fulanis are coming. They are coming very, very well. Thank you, Ed Mutan. Very dark man has so issues. That's what I'm saying. He has his issues. He has his issues. But there are things which I'm picking. He criticized P-Lord or B-Lord, what they called him. P-Lord was selling vehicles worth 42 million naira that P-Lord sold. Very dark man gave it to people at 28. He wasn't giving it to Ndibo. He spread it. I know he imported only 3 vehicles for starters. But I tell you the truth. With these floodgates of business coming in, the companies there would like to send to very dark man who will clear and sell at that price. Let us stop taking advantage of the fact that we have a business idea. We exploit people. Look, I have a friend here. Before I started my business, we were working for somebody together. So he got a job in the airport, and I told him I wanted to go and work there. He told me, no, that you cannot work there, that the job is very hard, that it needs physical strength. Now, this is the guy I called to come and work for me and with me. I pay him. And when we do this as trainers jobs, he gets tired on the way. I employ, even though he's working there, he'll come, he said, please, if you have a job, call me. When he comes to work with me, I pay him $25 an hour. That's what I pay him. So if he works for 10 hours, I pay him $250. They don't pay him that much at the airport. The only difference is that there is certified with some benefits that come with it. The guy discouraged me from doing it. And I had to let it go. I did my business. Still, that wasn't enough. Whenever he's out of work, he comes to me. Because that airport work grants him opportunity to travel to and from Cameroon without paying money, without transportation. That's the kind of thing I would have wanted. So I don't stress much. But you see, but I'm an Igbo man. It doesn't stop me when I have a job and he needs a job from calling to come and work, and as he works, I pay him his money. We have to go beyond this thing. Let's look, look at the bigger picture. So very dark man is complaining against Cubana High Priest, Okonibo, Obi Cubana, Okwandibo, Okwandena Bandibo, Mbopuru. These 2 men have teamed up with Ojus Okalo, Hope Uzodimma, Dave Umahi, and Tinubu to destroy Igbo land. As long as they are doing business and making money, they can give to you, they can send to your friend, your sister, they can employ people. These are evil men. That is why I say I have a mixed feeling of nostalgia, happy and sad. This is the sad one I've told. Let me go to the happy one. Nigerian government came out that in the history book that was written that should be used in junior secondary school, Igbos were not captured. And that people felt bad. I agree that they should feel bad. But Jesus says, when you weep, don't weep as, no, it's Paul that said it, don't weep as those that don't have hope. Because there is hope for believers. You don't weep with unbelievers like those who don't have hope, because they don't have hope. Weep with hope that by Nigeria removing the Igbos from history. Remember, it was in Obasanjo's time that history was removed from our educational program. They removed it entirely. Is it? Yes. Yes. So, when they removed it, their intention was to black out the Igbos, because they felt that in getting to know the history of what happened before and during and after the war, it might raise up sentiments against them. So that means they know that what they did was evil. But if they were true, they would have allowed the history to stay so that we can learn from it. It will not happen again. We can correct imbalances. But they never planned to correct any imbalance. So then we started agitating for our freedom. We are not seceding because we were never in agreement to be in Nigeria in the first place. We were forcefully brought together. So we are not seceding. We are pulling out of a relationship that is toxic and unfruitful. As simple as that. Now, if Nigeria has gone to the level of removing Igbo history from the history book that is being given to junior secondary school students, it can mean two things. One, either a concession from them that yes, we have lost Biafrans, they are going, so let's start building our own now so that we can have something for our children in case people leave. Or it also means an intention to destroy the image of Biafrans, their history, and to destroy their people. Because if somebody destroys your history, you don't have it. That's what happened to the slaves that came to America here. They erased their history. They have no history. And therefore, they are putting their hands like, so that's just the intention, to destroy us totally and entirely. And that is the one I'm taking. That they want to destroy us. Why? Because so many things are happening at the same time. One, Nigeria went and linked up with Turkey, having a kind of understanding for security. Now, Turkey is accused by the international community as a financer of terrorism. Terrorists like ISWAP that is in Nigeria. So the person who finances terrorists in your land is the same person you went to meet to agree on security. How do and their president has come out and said that Nigeria is an Islamic territory, it's an Islamic state. You see what is going on? Now, what is their plan? Their plan is to come and first of all deny us our name, destroy our people, remove us from history, kill us. So why are you still there fighting very dark man? The problem is with the Igbo government who were aware that this history was written and Igbos were not captured in it, but they didn't say anything. Like Soludo is an academician. He's not saying anything. Devumai is not saying anything. Hope Uzodimma is not saying anything. Rather, they are planning with Obi Kubana and Kubana High Priest on how to bring Tinubu in power and then destroy the last vestige of the Igbo history or recognition. Because Tinubu's wife told us openly that they are out to deal with Igbo in Lagos. She didn't mince word. She said it openly. Remember, she's a Christian. So you see a program of the Yorubas to destroy our people, and our people who are making money are, after being subservient to the Fulanis, our people are now going to become subservient to the Yorubas. Influential people who have money, like Obi Kubana, Kubana High Priest. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is where our problem is. Our problem is not with Very Dark Man. Very Dark Man is speaking against ills in the society. He did not limit it to Ndibo. There was a day he came out and cursed the governor of a state and said God will punish him. It's a Yoruba man. So I don't know why our people will be thinking like this. They don't want to think straight. Soludo is against Ndibo. He wants money, even if they kill all of us. Therefore, Soludo is a terrorist. You should go after Soludo. You should go after Dave Umahi. It is not after the very dark man. Go after the people that want you dead. Very dark man is just talking that there are exploiters in the Nigerian scene. One of them is our brother called P. Lord. He also made mention of Obi Kubana and Kubana High Priest. But Soludo has a program to destroy you, to kill you. He's trying to break down on the market. I had thought that he would have built something better than that one to show his education being put into use or practice. He's not doing it. Who is your real enemy? How many of them, since NNAMDI Kanu got jailed unjustly, even before then, how many of them came out to speak openly to damn the consequences? Like Obadiah Melafia did, or the former governor of Benue State did that time, Autumn. How many of them have come out openly to speak? None of them. So when you want to go, the number 6th man in the House of Representatives, something Carlo or what, it's the kind of person you go after. He wants to sell the Igbos to destruction. Go after such men. It is not very dark man. Go after legislators in the states of Igbo land. Go after the governors. Go after the senators. They are the ones that are causing problems for you. They cannot go to the Senate and speak on behalf of the people and say, no, NNAMDI Kanu must come out. Or speak against evil that's going in Igbo land. Who brought in insecurity in the southeast? Is it not Buhari? When Malami and others were doing the evil they were doing, how many of you got up to speak? That's where a problem is coming from. It is not very dark man. Very dark man is a social crusader. He's not a freedom fighter. And he's doing his job very well. Because even as you are talking now, if you speak against very dark man and tomorrow he understands that you were treated somehow that is not good, he looks into the case and it's something he can help, he will come in regardless of what you have said. Because he's a social crusader. He's a crusader for social justice. So it goes beyond him. It is not him. It is what he's doing for the benefit of A, B, C to Z. That's the fact. So it's so shameful that the very enemies of Ndibo are Igbo sons that have made money and they have connived with the Yorubas. Look, let me give you a little thing, a little history. Not much. The problem Nigeria has today is the Yoruba people. I have good Yoruba friends in America. I respect them very well. But collectively, look at it. It started. 2 times the mayor of Enugu State was an Hausa man. The Igbos never rose against him. He was voted in. Zik won the Western State House of Assembly. And Yoruba, overnight, by Awolowo's wicked indoctrination, they cross-carpeted. And Zik left and came back to come and remove Eyota. This Eyota was the same person the Yorubas went and told him that the Igbos love intimidation and dominion. But what they did to Zik, they didn't say it. They were saying it to poison Eyota's mind where Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe is to show you the subtlety, the wickedness that governs Yoruba life. It was, listen, Ojukwu, I read his book because I am involved. He said that he had an understanding with Awolowo while he was in prison in Calabar. If I come and release you, you will go to your place and declare Oduduwa Republic. In fact, the day he came to Aba in 1983 at Aba Stadium, I was there when Ojukwu was making that same comment. He said when Awolowo was released from prison, he did not go to, where's that his place? Ikene, to go and form Oduduwa Republic. No, rather he went to Lagos and took political appointment. He said that unfortunately Yoruba man has become too Yoruba, he has forgotten he's Nigeria. So Ojukwu was still advocating for one Nigeria, that things work out fine. But Yoruba man now saw, after our serious destruction of our properties and our people, our girls, humiliation and rape, now that the thing has entered their hands, they want to see themselves as the second formidable force to humiliate and destroy the Igbos. What Buhari started, Tinubu wants to finish, backed by Yoruba people. That is why I say a man like Ruben Abati always looking for a way to cut down the Igbo man or say, downplay any evil thing that's done to the Igbo man. Ruben Abati. But God has a way of doing things. All of them will pay the price for their evil. Like Malami now is being charged for terrorism. That was the same man who kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu. But the man is a terrorist. with Buhari. That's what they did. They brought him from Kenya to this place, to Nigeria. And they refused him bail, everything. Today, he's in that same camp of detention. So NNAMDI Kanu looks at the bigger picture. If you fight very dark man, let me tell you the truth. Those of you that seem to be against him because you're an Igbo man, you will fail. Regardless whether he's a Christian or Igbo man or not. Somebody who is standing for the truth, what he's doing. I'm not talking about his personal life. No, I'm not interested. If you are fighting him because he spoke against P-Lord, he spoke against Cubana High Priest, Obi Cubana, you will fail. Because these people don't have your interest in their heart. If P-Lord has your interest in his heart, he will not get a vehicle which he knows by selling it 28 million, he make profit. He comes to sell it to you at 42 million, whopping 14 million. He doesn't love you. And when he takes 14 million from you, he can take 3 million to employ people and pay them. And he'll be the Lord, like they call him P-Lord. He'll be the Lord over them. And you see yourself at the base on a constant basis, he will never allow you to raise up your head. So he's not a friend. We don't need such persons in Biafra. We don't need people like Obi Cubana, Cubana High Priest in Biafra. We don't need people like Hope Uzodinma in Biafra. We don't need them. We don't need people like Soludo in Biafra. We don't need people like Peter Obi in Biafra, who has not given account of MASOB members that were killed. NNAMDI Kanu spoke on behalf of MASOB because they are Igbos. They are human beings. NNAMDI Kanu spoke on behalf of the Hausas, the Fulanis who were in detention, because they are human beings. That is what, no, fall there means, I'm not saying you will die. What I'm saying is that you will fail. If you are rising up against very dark man because he's speaking against P-Lord, the rise up will not work. It will fail. Because nature itself, unless the man has an ulterior motive, which we'll find out later. And if that's the case, he will not go far. But if he's sincere and truthful, the way he's doing his things, in respect to being a crusader for social justice, Mutant said, Emeka Livingstone, I don't know very dark man very well, but I don't like any of these so-called Igbo businessmen. All these Igbo businessmen are evil people. The only one who tried to do something for the Igbo, Ibeto, when Obasanjo dealt with him, no Igbo man stood to his rescue. Instead, people like Ato Eze casting on it to sell themselves to the Fulanis and become their friends so that they have, people like Ojuto Kalu them, so that they have oil deals and make money. So, to the average Igbo man, not all of us, it's your fall, it's my rise. Your downfall should be my rising. So when you fall as a brother, better I rise and make money. You know, it's better. No, that's not it. That is not the spirit of Biafra. The spirit of Biafra is that we are going to rise up together. We are going to build a nation together. We'll put boundaries. We'll put things in place, set up structures, institutions that are accountable or can hold governance accountable, or government accountable to their responsibilities. That's what we need. So it is very painful to see that Igbo sons are the ones that are linking with Yoruba's killer. Now, when Awolowo went to Ikene, the war started. He was the one that advised Gowon. Hunger is a legitimate weapon of war. Block the eastern flanks where they get imports through Cameroon. They will die of hunger and surrender. When Awolowo gave that advice, didn't he know that children would die of starvation? He has children. Didn't he know that women under such forced condition might open themselves to any man that will sleep with them as long as they can give them food to eat? Didn't Awolowo know that in hunger, fathers will die, people will leave their children and run away? And then the Nigerian government casting on it, we didn't surrender because they were more powerful than us, but it was hunger. After being supported by, as usual, the British people who are exploiting and still give you opportunity to come to their country and get their passport, and you are hailing, say, Britain, somebody can give you money and is still exploiting you. That's what these guys do. These are evil men. Now, after the war, it was Awolowo that advised Gowon, give them 20 pounds. Reduce every Igbo man to 20 pounds. That's economic emasculation. Having killed us during the war by reason of starvation, okay? And then now, he has introduced this monetary thing. And within 3 years, Igbos could come up with people like Mike Merchandise, John Anyahe, C.U. Iweka, Chidiebere, Chief L.O. Ilodibe, Ekenet Lichuku. We had so many things and they were surprised. Awolowo decimated us financially in Igbo land. Okay? It is a Yoruba man. What was it? He was doing it for his people. And then, when Buhari started his evil, Osibanjo was a pastor, vice president under Buhari, which Adeboye was aware of all the evil Buhari was doing. He could not call Osibanjo to order. Say, no, this is wrong, bro, before the Lord. Because the Igbos that were killed, some of them were born-again Christians. Or they had relatives who were born-again Christians. Excuse me. So, someone who came and decided to destroy our properties in Lagos in fulfillment of the promise Tinubu's wife gave and eventually became the wife of the president. And somebody said, by reason of biblical mathematics, for the two shall become one. She is the president of Nigeria by reason of marriage to the husband. And they're carrying out their evil intention against the Igbos to see to it that the Igbos are destroyed, they're decimated economically. Those are enemies. And Very Dark Man has come out and said, this is hatred against the Igbo people. That he used to say, think it like this, but now he's saying that it is not. If you know you don't want them, let them go. Has Obi Kubana come out to make such comment? He will tell you, no, you don't know what is happening. That if I talk, my business will spoil. So the Igbos can be sacrificed. All of us will die so that Obi Kubana can do business and make money and then come and dash you. Unless you don't know what you're saying, you don't know what you're doing. So I want Igbos to know something. Go after Obi Kubana. Don't go after Very Dark Man. Go after Kubana chief priest or high priest or whatever they call them. Those evil men. Go after them. Go after Governor Soludo. Go after Devil Mahi. Unu Mahi ha game. Eba, look, the Unuga, I got Eba, Nonime Chabayanya. They are coming in droves. They know that the last port of call which they will destroy and clean Nigeria one time is Igbo land. And they have succeeded in taking a large part of Ebonyi state psychologically, which Devil Mahi brought them. Soludo is doing his best to give them leverage in Anambra State. Hope Uzodimma has opened his doors to them. Can't you see? Don't you see them fighting against Alex Oti, Ojus Okalo and Co? And that is, they have added Obi Kubana there to come as a formidable force, join with Ojus Okalo, Kubana High Priest, to if they can fight against NNAMDI KANU, who is Alex Oti. Let me tell you, all those that rose up against NNAMDI KANU, they are falling. One by one. From the time of Buhari, almost all of them are dead. We are waiting to hear that of, what's his name, Lai Mohammed. As they have lied and wished NNAMDI KANU evil, God will sit down and be watching them and be passing judgment. Malami has entered into the foray of those who are in trouble. When somebody was killed, what's his name? Is it what's that man that was killed in Imo State? Which Hope Uzodimma came out and said it was not IPOB that killed that man. They were political opponents. Yet the Yorubas refused. Yoruba press refused to advance that. They refused to advance that. So the Yorubas have an intention to destroy us. That is one thing you people should know. So your problem is not with Very Dark Man. Your problem is with the Yorubas also. They want the land taken over. They want Igbos removed. They just hate Igbos. They don't like us. And you are coming here fighting somebody who is telling you, even though they will hate you, in your midst we have evil people. We have to deal with them. Pilots' money has no value for the Igbo people. Yeah, Gulag. Thank you, my dear Gulag. Amechi. Gulag was killed by political opponents. Possibly Buhari's people. I don't know. I don't know. But they killed him. It was blamed on IPOB. At the end of the day, the score was not IPOB. Hope Uzodimma opened his mouth and said it. They refused to receive that in the court of law. Because they have a morbid hatred for Igbo. The reason why the Yorubas and the Northerners are in good... That's why, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm talking, I have a conscience. The God of heaven bearing me witness. I'm not lying. Reverend Dachamo. I thank God for his life, but let him listen. I've said this before, I'm saying it again. Before now, they have been killing Igbos. Dachamo never opened his mouth for one day to speak against it to the international community until the death came and began to kill people from Middle Belt. The presentation is Christians that are being killed. And anytime they want to make reference, they will tell you Kaduna, Taraba, that's Kaduna both north and south, Taraba, Plateau, Benue, Kwara State. They don't mention Igbo land. They just say other areas. So basically, the presentation to the international community is that they kill people from Benue State. They are Christians. Now, those Christians that are talking of Benue State, they are not born again Christians. They may not be born again Christians, so they may not be, because we have Christians that are nominal and Christians that are believers, that are giving their life to Jesus Christ. So, but all of them are classified as Christians to present the accurate picture of the killings of people in the Middle Belt. But the Igbos were not put into the picture. So I've challenged Dachamo. Before now, what did you say? Because until they start killing people from Benue and Plateau State, there was like a silent conspiracy between you people, even Christians, and in Nigeria, and the Muslims, that the Igbos become target. They'll kill them. Nobody says anything. Nothing. They have killed us more than they kill people in Benue State and Plateau. They have killed us more than that. But it is their own that you go. Not that I like it, but I am telling you that this Benue and Plateau fought against the Igbos during the war, led by Danjuma, Yakubu Gowon, Idi Bisala, Jeremiah Hosseini, David Mark, and all the rest. You see? So they are received, not that I like it, though, but let me tell you that if you have a problem and I go inside my house and I'm rejoicing that you have problems, do you know what? God is going to give me problem. God is going to give me problem. So even if your enemies begin to suffer, don't rejoice. So I don't rejoice with Benue people. No, I feel bad. But they are receiving the recompense of their error, which is me. For if the Benue indigenes, the Middle Belt, have not been killed to this extent, probably Americans will not have heard the level of genocide and atrocity going on in Nigeria against us in the East. Each time they'll blame it to the Igbos, to the IPOB. That's what they will do. They will always blame the IPOB. But who brought in insecurity in Southeast? It is Buhari, in connivance with Dave Umahi, Hope Uzodinma. Are you not aware? With Ugwani and others. So when you want to go after these men, in your place, go after them. Leave that man alone. That man has no problem. He's just a crusader for social justice. That means he can speak against Tinubu. He said it the other day that he disappointed in him. He can speak against anybody. So not when he speaks against my brother, because I'm an evil man, I say, that very dark man hates us. He's a bad person. I cut him down. No. Listen to that guy is intelligent. Listen to his contribution. Listen to his arguments. So we know the enemies of Ndibo. Majority of Ndibo believes in NNAMDI Kanu. This sit at home that happened is a pointer. Why is it that the Nigerian government does not want to organize a referendum? Because they are afraid that if they do, Igbos will pack out and go. They will leave. But we will leave when the time comes, whether they like it or not. And then I come again, another thing that is disturbing me. NNAMDI Kanu is the leader of IPOB. He formed it. He was called to do it. He's paying the price for it. He's still alive. Everything you are, whatever position or authority you have, comes under NNAMDI Kanu. As far as Igbo land and IPOB is concerned, nobody has paid the price for Igbo like he has done. Ojukwu paid it using his father's wealth and then fought the war as governor. NNAMDI Kanu did not come as a governor. He came from the ordinary background without money, but had the power to convince and won the hearts of Igbo with evidences of the evil being done against them by the Fulanis, in connivance with other parts of Nigeria who saw the Igbo question as a national pastime. Nobody cared. Because as long as an Igbo man, even if they kill you or you lose your right in Igbo land, or in Nigeria, it's never considered as human rights abuse as long as an Igbo man. Until it happened to Benue. They are now crying, and that is why our own has come into the limelight. And I thank God for it. So within the clergy, Igbo clergies are not saying anything. Everybody is fighting to protect his empire so that it will not collapse. But the collapsing is coming, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not, they're coming to Igbo land. They're going to kill our people. And at the point where they have killed us, and we see that we're almost being annihilated, that's when we can rise up to fight back. Otherwise, why can't... in fact, I'm just hearing that all the time that NNAMDI Kanu is in detention, all the money collected by DOS, he's not even aware. I think they said it was just $2 million naira that was given to him or something. He's not even aware. And I'm sure that 2 million would have been part of the 1 million that was given to Maxwell Okwara to go and defend NNAMDI Kanu in the case in Kenya, in the court in Kenya. And then when he applied, they refused to give him visa. He came back and told Oyendu, they refused to give him visa. Oyendu told him, go, forget it, go with the money. That's the only money Maxwell had collected from this Biafran struggle. So I want you to look at it objectively as Ndibo. There's something going on which you have forgotten. You're looking at other things. I want America to come and fight for us, but I think it will be better if we start the fight first. Let America come and help us. Or come like that. Because if I come and rescue you and fight your battle for you, I am going to... You are owing me your life. If you are a woman, you are owing me yourself. At least one way by which you can pay me back is in kind. Apart from cash. Because I came, fought your battle and rescued you. But if you were fighting as a gladiator, and while the battle was going on, I brought in my team, my troop. We began to fight with you. After the war, you will respect me, I will respect you. We'll shake hands. I say, thank you for coming to our rescue. Whenever you're in problem, call me, we'll come. Quick pro quo, I owe you that. But if I just sit down, cowering, and you came there and fought all the battles and rescued me, you tell me where to sit. You tell me what to do. So Ndibu are not getting it. You're just there waiting. Just like the people who followed them. That time when autopilot. Hey, Samarapa told you, you will sleep in Biafra, Nigeria and wake up in Biafra. You believe. He said he knows the Biafra will come. You believe. You just kept believing. You didn't sit down and ask him how. You promised to play this. How have all the monies you've collected, where have they been channeled to? The monies were just used for him and those people whom he raised up as his army. Contrary to Onyendu, who said, we don't have any army in Biafra land. So you see, our problems are multifaceted. And the enemy is using it to hook us. If we can say we want to support ESN right now, there are certain ESN commanders that are doing their job very well. That's why recently, Gentle, even though I didn't like Gentle's connection with Simon, that they did not kill him. I thank God, because he's my brother. He's an Igbo man. If they kill him, it's a loss for us. Okay? Okay? The Fulanis who are committing atrocities, their governors don't ask for them to be killed. Instead, Shegumi is going about soliciting that they should be protected, paid, appealed to, and understood. Orona, can you come out and be told, book, 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 book. Anybody who rises up to speak on our behalf, you cut him down. Even an outsider, like very dark man. It doesn't show we are intelligent. You cannot handle it. The Fulanis want to come to our land to use the Turkish people. After Awolowo has done that thing, Tinubu's wife continued. Tinubu continued, he and his wife. Now we are having the case of the Minister of Education, who nearly rubbished our children in their exams, who had glitches in counting of votes, who has spearheaded the removal of Igbo from history. It is, they want to erase everything about it so that eventually, if they listen, let me tell a story. Let me tell a short story of what is happening in overseas. Children get missing every year in large quantity in the white man's land. Those children have no identity, so that if they are killed, nobody can ask after them. They cannot be traced. That is what they want to do to the Igbos. They want to remove your identity. They remove you from the history book. You say, well, they have agreed we are no longer with them. That, yes, I agree, it's a concession. But there's an evil intent. If you are seen as a rebel in their land, you are causing, they will foment the trouble, escalate it, put it on your head, come and kill you. Because there are Igbos around who will back them to kill you. And there are Igbos within our midst who want to understand them. Because on they buy, and then they'll give certain people, like this Aburo, or people, they'll give them money. I tell them, who was putting Soludo? All those in Soludo's cabinet are anti-Biafra. All of them in Opus Odima's cabinet are anti-Biafra. When I don't know, by God's grace, when Biafra comes, we don't need such people in our land. They can never, they know they can never occupy office again in Ebola. Because if they do, it's a carryover of the Nigerian mentality into the new nation of Biafra. No, we need something. You can't put new wine in the skins of old bottle. It will burst it. So if you are going after anybody, go after the governors, go after the legislators in your land, in your community. They pay them a lot of money. What did they do for you? Go after them. They are terrorists. If Tinubu can openly go and sign an agreement with Turkey, that's a terrorist country supporting terrorism. Tinubu is a terrorist. See him as such. See all the governors, people like Ojuso Kaludem who are fighting. This guy, something Kalu, that they said is in House of Representatives, who is making a lot of noise. These are terrorists. You should go after them. Go after them. They are terrorists. Nothing will happen to you. Many nations understand that these are evil people. I want to stop so far. Go after the enemies of Ndibo. You start cleaning your house from within. But as long as we keep quiet and we keep arguing, talking, P-Lord has no interest of the Igbos at heart. His behavior self is rather bringing the integrity of Ndibo to the floor. He's just making money. Thank you so much for those of you here. I'm very grateful. The Lord bless you. I, for one, believe that NNAMDI Kanu is the sole leader of Biafra, IPOB Ndibo today. When he comes out, he will tell us what to do. Anybody that is rising against NNAMDI Kanu is an enemy of Biafra. I don't care whether you are in DOS, IPOB, sworn or not sworn member. If you rise against Onyendu, like they said, when they say if any publication that is made, Onyendu's name should not be put. They put their names. And you know those publications don't have anything to do with violence. It's the truth. Why not put Onyendu's name there? Or like Simon Ekpa's boys, every time, some of them have been approaching me. They want to project Simon Ekpa. I'm not sure, how do you think Simon Ekpa can be a leader in Biafra? He was jailed for money laundering, and criminality of terrorism in a bid to enforce it at home. Oburundibo, his boys. How can such a person come and lead in Igbo land? The formation of the Biafran Republic government in Israel and Biafran USB is all trash and nonsense. He told you that they have bought a ship. Where is the ship? It will land in Oguta. Where is the plane? It will land at Aba. So if you don't want to think, you just keep being stupid and they're collecting money from you. I didn't say you should give me money. I'm working. But one thing I can do, I tell you the truth. I am Emeka Livingstone. I am telling you the truth. I can stand to lead an army against Nigeria with Ndibo to see that we secure our people's lives. I'm not saying it because of I want to rule Nigeria. I'm not interested. I just want us to be out so that let's run our own country. And I'm not interested in leadership. But if it comes to fighting, leading a war in defense of our people so that they don't kill us, I am willing to bring myself out. Who will go? Who will stand with me? Let us sit down and plan and know what to do to strike Nigeria, what to strike how they will leave. Then again, I thank God for the coming in of Israel. You know, America is coming with diplomacy and taking time because they don't want anything to soil their image. If there is any country that understands the wickedness of terrorists on earth today, they are the Israelis. And they are the ones who will definitely deal with this issue. You cannot blame them. Because as long as terrorists exist in any part of the world, their main intention is to destroy Israel, wherever they are located. And Israel will do everything to eliminate them. When Shetima went to the United Nations to accuse Israel and asking for a two-state solution. Meanwhile, Biafra has been killed. They have been killing Biafra, have been talking. They have refused to listen. That was a provocation. That was what gave Israel the roadmap into coming to, because Shetima is a criminal. He is a terrorist. When Tinubu went to Turkey, who is a financer of terrorism, that country, to go and hold military understanding with them to help him fight terrorism, it was a red flag for Israel. So I want Israel, while America is coming from the north, doing whatever they're doing in Sokoto, I'm not too interested. I just want us, Biafrans, to be free. So Nigerians can take care of their problems. Because maybe if we separate, development can come. Yorubas can take care of their land, fight very well, work very well, and give in their best. The Northerners can do the same. If Middle Belt decide to break out from the Fulani, they should break out. It shouldn't be my headache, because I've been carrying my own headache for a long, long time. But if in the process of the breakout, then the Middle Belt wants business to do with Biafra, or Biafra wants business to do with the Middle Belt, we can meet at that level and discuss and program, strategize. How I can help you, you can help me, we develop. Maybe that will bring about development in Nigeria in a better way, and it will no longer answer Nigeria. Because if Biafra comes out today, all this nonsense Fulani thing will stop. Biafra becomes a sovereign state with their own armies. Fulanis will never dare try it. They don't burn them. They know. The reason why we can't do much is because the federal government of Nigeria is backing their terrorist organization. People like us who are not supposed to talk, you are making us come out to speak. And we have seen the evil. We are very, very angry. Ordinarily, I should just keep quiet, mind my business as a preacher. But they are killing my people. It make my belly turn. I can't continue with it. So if it becomes expedient to lead a war against Nigeria, to leave Biafrans alone, I will. I'm not going to Sokoto to take over their land. I want them to leave my land. Get out of my land. Leave my people. Let us develop at our own pace. Let us worship our God, the God of Biafrans, Chukwukika Biama, Elohim. Let's worship him, serve him in our own nation, bow before him, run our country in a godly manner. Many nations now beginning to sack Muslims out of their country. Americans are also doing it. And I thank God that Islam is overrunning Britain, because they used them against us. I told them that I prayed in Britain that God remember the evil of this nation and let Islam destroy Britain. Because they did evil. They have not stopped. They continued. That this queen, I went to Britain. I knelt down. I was praying. It is not a bad prayer. Because if they have done it and stopped, it would have been okay. But they have been doing it consistently up to tomorrow morning. It can no longer be tolerated. If we don't get up now and raise up a very formidable army, they are coming. They are coming. Tinubu has told Turkey, come and help us fight terrorism. They will send them here. Cause problem in Igbo land. Bogidi and Igbo and the IPOB. But at the end of the day, our girls will be married off to these Fulanis. And after impregnating them, the children they will give birth to are Janja witch that will come out to be a problem to us tomorrow. Or Unamage. You don't know. If we cannot fight to defend our land now, they're coming to overtake us. I quarreled with somebody yesterday who is a very good friend of mine. He has money because of this Biafran issue. I told him off. He was telling me that NNAMDI KANU made me. I said, which kind of mistake? What do you know about the Biafran struggle? Because you know in America about them business. You think you have knowledge. I am vexed because our people don't want to reason very well. But let me tell you, we have to raise up a very formidable distance. I said, go after this guy, see Jega. If you don't know, Cubana High Priest is your enemy. Obi Cubana is your enemy. Oju Zokalo is your enemy. They want to destroy you, and as long as they become lords, collect from the Fulanis, Oju Zokalo is ready to worship Allah. Haven't you seen him worship in the mosque? When Obasanjo was president, he used to break fast with the Muslims. You don't do that in the time of Israel. A believer wouldn't be doing that nonsense. These are not Christians. These are not believers. They don't believe in Jesus. They're evil people. Soludo, you should go after Soludo. Ebobola. Don't let him go free. What have you to do with that very dark man? It's just a crusader for social justice. What else? People finance his organization and he distributes money to help people. That's all. If they stop, that's why he doesn't have money again. He doesn't command an army. He makes himself plain. So, I mean, what are you disturbing the young man for? He's better than P-Lord in the eyes of Nigerians and Igbo who are rational and reasonable. He's better than Obi Kubana. He's better than Kubana High Priest. He's better than all of them. Hope Uzodimma. Those of you in that stupid BSG, you divided into Togo, Kera, and Gozo, all that your useless nonsense two governments has nothing to do with Indibo. If you link up Simon Epa with NNAMDI KANU, you discredit the whole Biafran struggle. Thank you, Chibogo, Onamba. God bless you, James Ote, Ed Newton. God bless you. Please have a nice day. This is Emeka Livingstone signing off.